Hello, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to a brand new video. This week we're getting on with the beginner's guide to die-cast restorations. This is part 2, and as you can probably see by the photo or the video, it's about tools. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to clear this lot away, separate them into smaller sections, and then we'll deal with each section as it goes along. Okay. All right. Hello. I'm laughing to myself because this is about the 5th or 6th time I've tried this, and I don't know, it just keeps getting from bad to worse. So I'm just going to roll with it now. Whatever comes out of my mouth comes out, because I tell you, it's, oh dear. Right, beginner's guide. This is a beginner's guide for tools. This is the basic toolkit I think you're going to need to restore a simple die-cast vehicle. And really, there's no need to spend a fortune on fancy tools and stuff like that to start off with. You know, you've got to learn to walk before you can run, to be honest with you. I mean, it's the old syndrome. We've all done it. Experienced modelers like myself and like a lot of other people who are subscribed to me and other channels, that, you know, when we were younger, you would see something out of a magazine or a model show, and we go, yeah, we can do that. And you go out and you buy all the fancy gear, and because that person's using it. It even happens today on YouTube. You'll watch YouTube videos and people will say, oh yeah, you know, use this and use that and use the other. So you go out and you buy all this stuff, and at the end of the day, you get disappointed if your model doesn't turn out like that person's model. So what I'm saying is, for a beginner, so you don't get disgruntled, you don't get naffed off, and you don't get fed up, is start with your basic toolkit. Well, it's not going to cost you an arm and a leg, and then if it does go wrong, you don't fancy doing it anymore, you haven't lost a parcel load of money. So we're going to just deal with the basic stuff. We're not dealing with Dremels, we're not dealing with drill stands, lathes, or anything like that. You know, spray booths, air guns. We're not dealing with stuff like that. We're just dealing with the basic kit to get a couple of simple die-cast models done. Okay, and then later on in the series, near the end, we'll go on to the advanced things like airbrushes, spray booths, drill stands, all that sort of stuff, you know. So at the beginning, it should be basic tools as we go along, because I don't want to lose people thinking, oh, I can't afford that, or I'm not going to buy, I haven't got this and I haven't got that. So just stick with it, okay? Some of the older guys, more experienced, are going to say, I'm fine, I've got all that, doesn't really matter. Fine, that's good, okay? So this is to encourage people who just started off on a hobby. Okay, all right, let's go. First of all, we're going to deal with the safety aspect of it, the most important part before we start anything. So I'm going to turn the camera around and we'll get going. Okay, first things first then. Safety glasses, all important. These aren't expensive. You can get them virtually anywhere now what sells stuff like this. These are handy. I wear glasses and I can put these on as well, but I have got a pair of prescription safety glasses anyway, but I do have these. Keep these with me. So you'll need these, and I will be wearing these when you're doing the wire wooling, wire brushing, anything like that which is liable to fly debris up into your face. Okay, it's important. All right. Okay, gloves. These are the disposable gloves. These are all important to get your paint off your hands, or if you're dealing with super glues and glues, you don't want to get them on your fingers, you can always whip your glove off and change it. Marigolds, I haven't got a pair of marigolds up here at the minute, or rubber gloves for doing caustic soda. They are down in the kitchen actually, I left them down there by mistake, apologies for that. Okay, so there's your gloves, you're going to need those. They're not expensive, you can buy, well, they are now because every bugger's buying them all because of these COVID, but you know, at one point you can get these fairly cheaply. Okay, we get rid of that. I'm going to chuck stuff on the floor here because otherwise I won't have room on my bench. Right, these things, people call them respirators, whatever. They aren't expensive. This is a 3M one. I already had this, but you can buy these fairly cheaply, or you can buy the just ordinary face mask, you know, the paper ones, because you've only, you know, this I use mainly for doing caustic soda because of the fumes. They are quite toxic and they get down your throat. So if you can get some of these, feel free, get some. All right, they're not expensive, really, not nowadays. So there you go. Get this. This is uses for caustic soda and for spray painting. All right. So that's that. So that's your main safety aspect, protecting your chest and protecting your eyes. Okay. Right. So we got that out of the way. Right. Your next aspect is you've got your car. You want to need to drill out your base plate. Now I've got this one here, as you can see, it's got nipples rather than holes. Okay, that's one with nipples. And this one, if you can see, it's got the holes in there. Okay. So you get a couple of different base plates, different nipples, different posts. So you've got to make sure you've got the right gear. So these are the two different posts you'll get. So what you'll need, you can get these, like I say, most places, set of files, needle files, whatever. Yeah. These are my second set. I've got a set up there, which I normally every day. They haven't got handles on, but I've got these. These are a reasonably new set. So they come in different shapes. You've got your half round. You've got your triangle one. You've got another triangle one there. You've got a flat. Okay, with this flat, if you can get a flat, if you can get one with a smooth side, or you can file that side yourself smooth. You could do one side smooth when you're going up against, when you're doing wheels and stuff like that, you know, you don't want to damage anything else. So that's your flat one. There's a square one. And that's your rat-tailed one. Okay, you get them in sets in hobby shops. Most places you can get them and they're not expensive. So there's your files. You'll need them to file down your posts, which we'll go into when we actually come to take these apart. I will show you how to use them, but you'll need them. Okay, your files, and they'll come in handy not just for posts, for filing off seam lines. If you're doing any straightening or anything, you'll need it for that. Okay, so that's just to get the base plate off there. And you'll also need a centre punch. These are a couple of quid, not expensive, sprung loaded. Yeah, so when you've got your when you file that down, you can use that to centre for your drill. Okay, like I say, we'll go through all this in detail when we come to do the base plates. So a centre punch, if you shop at Amazon, not expensive, or you can go into the range. I think it's cost me £3. Yeah, so that's pretty good, isn't it, really? Okay, and then you'll want your drill. Now this is one thing I will ask you not to skimp on. Cheap drill bits, you're wasting your time. So, you know, you're going to need an array of drill bits ranging from 1mm up to about 5 to 6. I mean, I haven't got a set as such. Most of mine are all loose. But if you can, buy a decent quality one, you know. You can get Stanleys, you get tungstens, carbide. You know, buy a decent quality drill bit. To be honest with you, this would probably cost you about, I think there was 3 in here, 2 or 3 in there, cost me about £4. Yeah. This one is the 2.5mm, which is what I use for drilling my posts out. But if you can get a drill set, or if you want to buy them individually, you want to go from 1mm up to 6. Okay. Because you've got your drill your posts out, then you want your mushrooms. Now your mushrooms are different sizes. As you can see, you've got a mushroom there, different size mushroom there, and a smaller mushroom on this one. So you're going to need that range between 1 to 6. Okay, but please don't skimp on drill bits if you can. All right, because you will regret it. Because the die cast, yes, it's a soft material, but it gets hot very quickly, and it does blunt the edges. And the trick is to drill slowly. All right, so you'll need your drill bits. Don't skimp on these. All right, and obviously you're going to want to drill. These, you can pick these drill bits up. These, I've got what voltage this is now, to be honest with you. Let's have a look here. I think it's a 15 volt, this one, something like that. Oh, it's 18 volt, this one. Lightweight, that's the key. Lightweight. Because when you're drilling up like that, and you don't want anything really heavy in your hand, because your hand starts to wander then. So lightweight, battery, rechargeable. Okay. I would say most people have got one of these in their shed somewhere. Okay. And if you haven't, and you can't afford to buy another one, you've got an ordinary heavy duty drill at home in your shed, then yeah, you could use that, but just be careful with it, because it's heavy. It's going to have a lot more power than you'll really need, and you've got a weight aspect of it as well. When you're trying to, if you've got like a 1 or 2 millimeter drill on it, the chances are, you're going to snap the drill because it's quite heavy. So, if you've got one of these aren't expensive. You can get them from most Wix's, or most places sell battery operated drills. Okay, so this is what you need. All right, so you've got your drill, you've got your drill bits, you've got your center punch, and you've got your files. That will get you your base plate off, and it will get you your window unit if it has one out. Okay, so we got to that stage now. We've got the base off. Okay, and we've got the window unit out if it's got one. All right, okay, let's just move these to one side. So like I say, the only thing amongst this lot that you don't want to skimp on is your drill bits. Okay, right, let's move that out of the way. Okay, so that you got that. Now we get down to the stripping stage. This is where you're going to need your safety. Right, 2 methods of stripping. Paint and varnish remover, caustic soda. Okay, these are the 2 that are most commonly used. Now it depends on how you feel about using either of these. I am not going to tell you which to use and which not to use. Both of these are inexpensive. This is just about 5 or 6 quid, and that's probably about the same, maybe 4 quid. Yeah, I mean, you can get different types of paint and strip varnish. I mean, this is what I bought because it was just there when I saw it. And this one, you can get caustic soda, you can get it online. I got this from Homebase, and it cost me 6 quid, and it's lasted me a long time. So these are the 2 strippers. Now you will need a container. Now the container is entirely up to you. I use a baking tin, a loaf tin, a baking tin, very expensive. I think £1 from Asda. I have 2 of them, a bigger one and a small one. Bob uses a tin, and Corgi Bob uses a tin and a glass jar. Crap Old Nick uses a bucket. So the receptacle is entirely up to you. But please remember, safety. Gloves and a mask. Yeah, you don't want to get this on your skin because it'll hurt, and you don't want to get it in your eyes, certainly not. Okay, so they're the 2 things. And you will also need something to grip it with, either forceps, pliers, something like that. You can get forceps. Most people use long nose pliers you can use to hold it in, or any sort of clamp. You can use a bent coat hanger even to hook it round and lift it up, whatever. Okay, shouldn't need any explaining how to use this, but this one, just be careful with this one. There is 2 ways of doing it. Some people will put the caustic soda powder into the tin first and then put the hot water on, Some people like me will do the hot water first and then put the caustic soda in after. The eruptions are slightly different. But we'll get into more detail when we're going to do that, because I don't want to sort of go into details of each use of each tool until we come to it in the program. Okay, so these are the two methods. All right, so we'll get rid of those now. We'll put those over here. Okay, now in respect of paint on your window units, okay, a couple of methods here. Like you say, we've got the body strip now. We've got the paint off by using the caustic soda or the paint stripper. Now we've got some paint on the windows we want to get rid of. So you can use nail varnish remover. Okay, I use this nail varnish remover mainly for if I've got little bits of paint on, you know, like half a window of one side or a big, because I don't really like to use this, immerse it, the windscreen in this. All right, but you can if you want to, don't get me wrong. I mean, it's just me. I rather use this for, you know, spotting if you've got a bit of paint maybe in one area, and I get that with a cotton bud and get rid of it. Okay, but this is what my go-to for oven cleaner for immersing my paint covered plastics, including windows. I put this in a tray, spray this on. Like I said, we're going to all the details of how to use it. It's self-explanatory on the back anyway. But this, I would, if I'm using this in a confined space, I would wear your mask because it stinks. All right, and it's got a bit of an aroma to it. So, yeah. Right, so they're the two things that I get paint off. After washing, obviously, get your windscreen, give it a good old wash first in warm soapy water, dry it off, and then see what it looks like then, and then go for it with that. Okay, so that's for cleaning paint off your windows and your plastic parts, these two. All right, let's get them out of the way. Okay, so now we've got the body stripped, we've got the window cleaned, stripped. Right, so what we'll do next, we'll go in for the cleaning of the body. Now, cleaning the body, you can use, we don't want that. What I use these brushes, these ones. These aren't cheap. This cost me £1, so I bought 3 or 4 of them while they were on sale. Not sale, but they sometimes the shops tend to. Some of these cheaper shops, they have stuff in for a bit and then they don't have it on for a while. And I bought 3 while they were there. Okay, or you can buy these, and these come in a pack of 3. Okay, and then you've got your steel wool. This is a fine one. Fine wool. There's a load in there. Last year ages, that one. Okay, so this is what you need. Like I said, there's no need. You don't have to have a Dremel. Okay, you can use these. Well, just as good to clean your body up. Okay, that's you know, I'm talking basic tools here. So these are your basic tools. Your wire brushes and your wire wool. That'll clean your body up. Okay. Now, word of warning: when you've caustic sodaed your body and you want to clean it up, I'll just show you this as an example. Inside, little nooks and crannies, even though you've rinsed it after you've caustic sodaed it, you'll get some dry caustic soda in there. So it will be worth wearing just a thin paper mask. Yeah, you don't have to wear the big respirator, just a thin paper mask, because the dust will come up from there and it will get stuck in your throat and it'll give you a dry throat. Okay, so that's what you'll need to clean up your casting once it's been paint stripped. Okay, and take your time, clean it all up. So once you've done that, all right, you can get dispenser of these, put those down there out of the way. Now you've cleaned it, now you want to paint it. Degreaser. I use methylated spirits. You can use any sort of degreaser that you want. I just particularly use this one. You don't have to use this, just use a degreaser to get all the muck that you've been handling the casting, get all the rubbish off, you know, all the greasy hand marks. So get your forceps or whatever you're going to use to hold your model with, your clamp. There's loads of clamps and things out there you can buy, you can get to clamp your model in. Give it a good degreasing with this. Okay, but when you've degreased it, try not to touch it again. Hold it by the clamp. And this will quickly evaporate. Degreasers normally do. Okay, and then you're ready for your paint. Now, your paint, obviously we're not going to airbrushes. We're not doing airbrushes. Now there again, this is the brand that I use. You don't have to use this one. If you can't get it, use another one. This is high coat. I get this from the range. I have got Halfords paints up there. I find these very forgiving. These are good. I think they're quite good for beginners because the paint is very forgiving between the coats. All right. So you've got your primer, you've got your main colour, and you've got your clear coat or your lacquer. Okay. Like I said, we'll go into detail on each one when it comes to it. These are a little bit, I would say, for spray paints. Yeah, they're about, you know, £5 or £6 a pop, a tin. But Halfords, they do the same. They're a little bit dearer, but you get a bit more. So the choice is yours, or any automotive paint that you know somewhere local to you might do them cheaper. Motor Savers, you know, Halfords, the range. There's a lot of different places where you can pick this sort of stuff up from, or similar. But I would recommend that using the same brand primer, paint and lacquer if you can. I mean, it doesn't hurt to mix match, you know, but sometimes if I was a beginner, I would like to think that I would keep to the same. Later on, you get more experience and you want to swap and change, so I'll use a different brand, like from the pound shop for a primer, and I use Wix's or Wilco's for the top for the paint, and then something else for the, you know, you can try that. But to avoid disappointment, try and keep to the same to start with. Okay, so there's your paints. Like I said, we're going to go through each stage in detail when we come to it. All right, I'm just giving you the basic overview of what you're going to need. All right, so that's your painting. That's your painting and your lacquering. Okay, we're getting there, boys. We're getting there. Window units. Let's have a look. There's your window. There's your cleaner. Let's have a look. You got your window unit. Okay. I'm not handling this too much. It's broken. I've just re-glued it. So you got your window unit. It's got some scuffs on it. All right. You're not happy with it. It's got scuffs on it. A few scratches, and you want rid of them. So cheap and cheerful. The old ladies. I've spoke to these before and I've used and showed these before. This is the nail polishing bit of kit. Okay. You got your rough, semi-rough, and it goes round to the polish side here. So use that, go around, buff it up. So you can get these, get them in packs of ones. Well, packs of ones, dick. You can get them in singles, or you can get them packs of 2. Okay, and they come in different sizes. You can get a straight one, yeah, if you want. I got a friend of mine who does her nails quite a lot, and she's always given me stuff that she's finished with. So I've always got an array of these of different sorts. So yeah, they're not expensive. So you can use these. Like I said, we'll go into more detail when we come to it. So you've got your window screen, clean it up with that. So you need one of these. Okay. And then you dip in it afterwards. I use this, it used to be called Clear. All right. And then it's Pledge. This is a Pledge. I don't even think you can get this anymore. It's a multi-surface wax. A lot of people use Pledge Revive it. This will probably cost you more than some of these tools put together because it's not cheap. Okay. So Pledge Revive it. Any floor polish will probably do the job. It's multi-service stuff. Okay, so this is what I use, and I keep it in a pot, and this lasts a long time. I mean, I've got a pot underneath here which I use, and it lasts me forever. In fact, I'll just show it to you just here by my hand here. Look, I've got this in here, and this is what I use. It's in there, yeah, and that's lasted me flipping ages. So it's money well spent, unless you spill it, obviously, then it ain't. So that's your windscreen dipped. Okay, so now we're on to, oh yes, when you've done your windscreen, if you want to use this auto sol, use this and with your cotton buds. Okay, this will buff it up. If you've got a windscreen which is you consider not to be too badly scratched and not too badly scuffed, it just wants a bit of a clean up, then you can use this instead. Just get this, rub this up all over with your cotton buds, and then buff it up with your other clean cotton bud. That way, that'll keep it nice and clean. Then you can dip it. All right. So it's always handy to have this in your arsenal. All right. This will last you ages as well. It's not one of those things that, you know, it's not expensive, and it will last you a long time. Some people use lamp doctor, the same as you use on your car headlights if they're getting a bit dull. Lamp doctor, if you can't get this, okay, well worth investing in. And of course, your cotton buds. Can't have enough of these, really can't. Recommend you get 2 or 3 tubs of these. Okay, so that's your windscreens covered. Right, okay, where we're up to, yeah, you'll need, also you can get these. Okay, the little old thingy bobs. These comes with a magnifier, but I'll take that off. I don't use that. This is purely for holding the models. Yeah, when I've got things in there, I'm holding them. Yeah, you've got the clamps on them. They've got the clamps on. And if I've got the forceps and I've got the body, I'll hold it in that while it's drying. So these, like I say, inexpensive. Worth having. You can buy 1 or 2 sets of these. I recommend you get a couple, because if you've got a car with doors, bonnet and boot, you know, and you need clamps and stuff, you've got 2 of these, you've got somewhere to put them, keep them safe while they're drying. Okay, so well worth the money. Not expensive again. I was thinking 5 or 6 quid, not much. Okay, so that's that. What else we got? Toothpicks. You'll need these. Get as many of these as you can. They're always come in handy. They come in handy for lots of things. For using for sticks, for putting your wheels on, for cleaning and painting them. They come in handy for putting super glue on. They come in handy for putting paint on. They come in handy for no end of things. So yes, that's a must. Okay, these are a must. Same as toothbrushes. Get these. All right, these are brilliant. Hard ones, soft ones. These are great for when you're cleaning paint off. Anything like that will do. You're getting muck off your car, your windscreens while you wash them in soap and water. Always keep some of these handy. Okay, so that's another thing you can keep handy. Knives. You can get these knives, get them in packs. I think there's 3 in a pack. Multiple blades. These are great, and you know, they're not expensive. You can get these. Basically, when I use them, I chuck them. Get another set. They're good for cutting out your decals, cutting out your masking, tape, you know, just about anything. Always worth keeping these, plastic card, whatever. So get yourself a set of these, all right? Okay, so that's them. Put them over there where they belong. Let's have a look. Okay, so we've basically got it all apart. We've got it painted. We've got the thing done. we're going to put it back together again. So you're going to need rivets. Okay. Now, I'll keep my rivets in here where they're safe. And I also keep the 2.5mm drill in there. There's my rivets in there, look. Okay. Now these are 2.5mm drill and rivets. Okay, now I've got these. The company I got these off eBay don't trade anymore for some reason. It's a shame. But there is a lot of companies on there where you can get rivets from. They can be solid rivets, or they can be these rivets, aluminium ones. If you go onto Diecast vehicles on eBay, go down to parts and accessories, and you'll find 2 or 3 companies selling rivets. And some of them sell drill bits with the rivets, and some of them will tell you whether they're dinky or corgi. Doesn't really, you know, they're pretty much the same. Rivet sizes, yes, you'll get some posts what are smaller and thinner than these. So I always keep a stock of Matchbox and Hot Wheels rivets in. These are 1.5s because some of the dinky and corgis are a bit smaller. Okay, so it's always handy to put these in. So you get your 2 sorts of rivets. All right, like I say, they're not expensive. You can buy 50, 100, whatever. Yeah, so you must have your rivets, obviously, and you've got to have your super duper. Yeah, you can't forget your super duper, boys. There's your super duper. I got these from the pound shop, come in packs of 3. I have been told by a subscriber that the pound shop of not doing these anymore, which is a flipping shame because they're handy, because they came with these nozzles. Yeah, we should go on the top. We see one on there, and I gradually, as they work away down, cut them down, cut them down, cut them down. Okay. Bob and Nick, they use a bottle of super glue, and they have a wire, which is perfectly good. It's fine. So if you can't get anything like that, just get your bottle of super glue and get your piece of wire to dip it in and drop that into your rivet hole when you put your rivets in. Okay, but bear in mind, if you've got a pot like that, you know, say it's just for example, that's your super glue, get some blue tack, stick it on there, because if you knock that bugger over, mate, you've got super glue everywhere. Okay, so that's your super glue, your rivets in. Axles. Now axles can be a pain. This is a big subject, is axles, putting pinion axles over. We're going to cover that in more detail later on. But if you can get yourself some of these, there again, these aren't cheap. I think it was £4, something like that. 4 or 5 quid, these. Okay, and if you look at the ends, you see, look, see the ends, the nail punches, the concave. This is one I use the most of all, that one. Okay, now I've got 2 sets of these. I've cut 1 set down to go on my drill. But yeah, these you can use to pin over your axle ends. Okay, all right, that's what you use to pin the axle ends over. That, along with your hammer. Okay, like I say, we're going into more detail, but I'm just telling you the kit that you need to do the job. So these punches and a hammer. You don't want a bloody great big hefty hammer. You want a medium size, medium weight hammer, whether it be a ball peen or a flat. Yeah, some people like to use a ball peen, but that's your choice. There you go. So there's your punches, there's your hammer. Right, then we get on to a bit of detail, painting and decals now. So, like most things, you'll want tweezers for your decals. You want a sponge. This is the kitchen scourer you get for doing the washing up. All right, you put that in your tub. I'll drop it in there. I usually put that in my tub, put the water in, you lay your decal on top of there, and it won't go floating around when it starts to separate. Okay, so kitchen sponge, They're not expensive. You can go and get a pack from Asda or somewhere like any supermarket for a little bit of money. Use them. All right. Okay. Tweezers. Always good to have a set of tweezers. Point ones, flat ones for your decals, and putting your small parts, holding your small parts to put in place when you're finished. So tweezers are a must to put in your arsenal. Along with that, of course, scissors. I'm not going to tell you what you need these for, because if you don't need me telling you what scissors are for, you'll need them. And paint brushes. Now, paint brushes is, you know, a subject by itself. This is where you can spend a bit of money if you want to. You can get perfectly good paint brushes from cheap shops, but be careful when you do them. Don't expect much from them, because the ends will start to separate, especially if you're doing detail work. So you do need, you know, middle of the range quality. You know, you can get these out of these art shops. You know, they'll be perfectly fine out of the art shops. I've got these ones, if you can read that. I've had these quite a while now. These are Cotterman, yeah, Winsor and Newton. I got these out of the Arty Farty shop. So, paintbrushes. Don't get really stupid and buy ones out of the pound shop, because you'll regret it. Yeah. Use your loaf. Half decent paintbrushes, okay? And look after them. Keep them clean. Alright. So, paintbrushes. Masking tape. You can use Tamiya masking tape. It's very good. Or you can use, what I've got here is frog tape, and this is low tack frog tape. So get yourself some low tack tape. Tamiya tape is very good. It's readily available. It's not too expensive. Get yourself varying sizes. Okay, so you need masking tape. Masking tape you need. Right, and I think really that covers what I would consider your basic toolkit. All right. There's probably one or two things that I've forgotten, but I think this will be what it is. It's just your basic toolkit that you'll need to get you started and get you going on one of these or one of these. Okay. All right. And it's not going to cost you an arm and a leg. Okay. Right. I think that covers it. I'm going to have a cup of tea. Right, so thanks very much for watching, and thanks for being very patient. This might not be a fantastic video, but it's just basically give the beginners an insight of what tools you can have. Like I say, we're going to detail with each section as we do it. All right. Well, thanks for watching. Thanks for being patient, and I will see you next week with a restoration. Bye for now.